if he did do the rally with the tornado warning in effect, what would all the Trump haters say? What would the DeSantis people on Twitter say? They'd say, he's endangering supporters by putting them in a tornado warning. So why am I going to take him seriously here? I hate to do it, but we got to weigh in on the Trump-DeSantis debate. I know, I hate to do it. It is the most toxic thing on the right wing by far, but, it's in the news. We got to talk about it because after a successful CNN town hall last week, liberals, but let's be honest, mainly Ron DeSantis supporters, are now attacking Donald Trump for allegedly canceling his rally in Iowa on Saturday over a tornado warning. Now, full disclaimer before we talk about this. As I have said, I support Donald Trump, but I'm also not one of these paid shills who just despises Ron DeSantis or thinks Ron DeSantis is a neocon. I like Ron DeSantis. I think actually what he's doing as a governor is historically important. I'll go so far as to say that. So I have respect for people who support Ron DeSantis. I hope that is reciprocal. I'm not one of these bad faith Trump actors or DeSantis actors or whatever. But what I have said is I don't think that all this bad faith slander on both sides is going to make for a productive primary, right? And so what I have maintained on both sides is that I think genuine debates about each candidate's strengths and weaknesses are healthy, okay? But I also think that just throwing out stupid and ridiculous nonsense at each other, especially when we basically do want similar things for the country, is not going to do a lot for us, okay? And I've said that. I've said that on both sides. So I've defended Ron DeSantis from bad faith stuff too, but especially the Disney stuff and some people going out there saying that Ron DeSantis was wrong to go after Disney just because they were trying to shill for a different candidate. And I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. Of course, Ron DeSantis was right to go after Disney. But in this case, I have to defend Trump from what some, but I mean, not all, but some DeSantis people are honestly throwing at him. So long story short, let's get into this Iowa story and let's break down the timeline here. Okay. So it all starts on Saturday. Donald Trump was scheduled to hold an outdoor rally in Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, got that, guys? And so what happened was at the beginning of the day, there were reports on the ground like, hey, we're going to have to cancel this rally. First, there's reports on the ground that the early crowd for this Trump rally is not as big as usual, right? And that's probably true. You see this in some of the pictures, right? It doesn't look like the normal big crowd early in the morning. But what happened is that afternoon, Trump says, sorry, but we're going to have to cancel because we just got informed of a tornado warning in Des Moines, Iowa, which is where the rally is. Now, for the record, whatever you think about the situation, for the record, it is true that there was a tornado warning until 7 p.m. Saturday in Des Moines, Iowa. You see that screenshot right there? That I Googled when this was all happening. When this was happening, I Googled, looked up weather in Des Moines, Iowa. Newsflash, there it is. There was a real tornado watch in Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, fact check, true. But what the DeSantis people are kind of saying here is that, he didn't really cancel because of the tornado warning and the bad weather, which again was real. He canceled it because, the turnout sucked. He canceled it because there was nobody there. Well, first of all, you might call this cope. You might say I'm making excuses, and perhaps I am. But could it maybe be true that the reason that turnout sucked so bad was because the weather was going to be bad that day, right? People get up, they look on their phone, they say, 80% chance of thunderstorm at 4 p.m. I don't really want to go out in that. I'm just saying it's possible. It'd be something to consider. And also, secondly, I remember even seeing this in my email. Any of you guys who are subscribed to the Trump email list have seen this too. Trump did advertise, right, that this rally was going to be admission for all, right? Did you see that email? I got that email that day, and I don't even live in Iowa. Guaranteed admission to the Trump rally. So maybe people were less stressed about forming lines early in the morning like they usually do. I don't know. You might say I'm making excuses. You might say that's all cope. I'm just saying it's a possibility. These reasons do make sense. They could check out, all right? Regardless, even if you want to conclude that it was all a lucky coincidence, it doesn't change the fact, again, yeah, he got, it was a lucky excuse to cancel the rally. It doesn't change the fact, again, that there was a real tornado warning in Des Moines, Iowa that day. Okay, maybe it was lucky for him, right? Maybe he dodged a bullet. But that's still an undisputable fact that the tornado warning was real. So I don't know why you guys are out on Twitter arguing that Trump should have done the rally, right? There was no tornado. Why didn't Trump do the rally? The tornado warning wasn't real, but it was, though. It literally was, though. But I want to give you kind of an insight as to what some of these haters are saying about it, okay? So here's one example. This DeSantis supporter says, that sky looks pretty scary. They're being sarcastic. Look, the sky is clear, right? Trump canceled because only 300 people showed up all day. Anyone who isn't a Trump apologist knows this. They actually know it too. Okay. So I guess apparently because the sky is clear outside, that means there's no danger of a thunderstorm or tornado in the span of a few minutes. The sky is clear, therefore there's no tornado danger. It's like, are you stupid or ignorant or just flat out dishonest, or you just not really have a clue? Because anyone who has lived in any place with a humid summer, whether that's, I live in the Southeast, I know how it is, but the Southeast, the Northeast, the Midwest, basically anywhere that's not the West Coast, they will know how stupid that comment is, okay? I live here in Florida. We know. All you guys who live basically on the geographic East Coast, we all know, right? Especially in the summer, 1 minute it is clear out, the next minute it's pouring rain, there's lightning strikes, and in places like Iowa, in Tornado Alley, those conditions cause tornadoes very often. Like, this is pretty common knowledge, okay? Just because, the sky is clear, that doesn't mean it's safe. And again, let me just remind people one more time, the receipts don't lie, because there was an actual tornado warning in Des Moines, Iowa that day. He didn't just make up the tornado warning, okay? So what are you even trying to prove? Oh, the sky was clear, so then, the meteorologist, that means there's no tornado warning. It's never happened. Okay, all right. Other talking points I saw from some haters on Twitter. Some people pointed out, first off, the flights in Des Moines, Iowa were not grounded, so that means it's safe, right? So because the airport in Des Moines was not grounding all the flights immediately, that means it could have done the rally. No, it doesn't work that way, right? They don't always cancel flights, even with a tornado warning. It doesn't mean that it's safe to do what Trump was going to do, which is a huge outdoor gathering, okay? Like, what are you talking about? And then secondly, people pointed out, Ron DeSantis actually did an event at a restaurant in Iowa earlier that day, so Trump had no excuse. He clearly could have done the rally. It's like, again, okay? Couple things. Perhaps that is because it was at a restaurant, right? It's earlier in the day in an indoor environment. You're inside. They say to seek shelter. You technically already are. That's a little safer than having everyone drive out to some big open field in Iowa and gather for a huge outdoor rally, okay? I don't know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. And then here's what's funny about it, right? If he did do the rally, let's be honest, folks, if he did do the rally with the tornado warning in effect, what would all the Trump haters say? What would they say? What would the DeSantis people on Twitter say? They'd say, he's endangering supporters by putting them in a tornado warning. He doesn't care about his people. Look at him forcing everyone to come out here, and then he's putting them all in. Okay. We know they would say that. So why am I going to take him seriously here? And then lastly, last thing regarding this, to people like John Cardillo here, what are you trying to argue exactly by saying, hey, look how small Donald Trump's crowd was? Again, this is a right-winger guy. This is a DeSantis guy, okay, not a liberal. So what are you trying to argue? That Donald Trump is less popular in the Republican electorate than your guy, Ron DeSantis, at the moment? Because that's just not true, right? That is empirically untrue. Every poll, both national and statewide in all the different states, are showing it's the opposite of that by a lot. So are you seriously here trying to argue that there's actually more support among Republicans for DeSantis than Trump? Again, if he is your guy, I'm fine with that. Okay, vote for DeSantis, whatever. But don't be dishonest about it. This is just not true, okay? And with that said, I will say on that front, I'm not even making the argument that just because Trump is ahead in the polls means he's objectively the better candidate. I don't believe that. I also think the polls can absolutely change, and the primary is not locked in stone right now. I know some people have said Trump has locked up the Republican nomination. I don't believe that. I think things can change very fast, and we're still very early into this thing. But still, how are you going to argue that your candidate is he secretly more popular than Trump when that's clearly not the case, okay, at the moment? Again, I don't mind you supporting DeSantis. I don't mind you criticizing Trump. But I think this whole Iowa thing has been just dishonest and frankly kind of pathetic to watch. And I don't think it's helping our party. I'll say that. I don't think it's helping the party. I understand that politics have to happen. People have to attack each other. Trump and DeSantis are about to engage in a primary. Of course, they're going to attack each other. But also, when we don't make attacks that, as nasty as they are, when we don't make attacks that are in any way really that constructive or productive, and I'm not saying they can't be nasty, I'm just saying that are just totally totally irrelevant. I think that's just tearing our party apart more than it's helping anyone, right? Because I want Republican voters, regardless of who the candidate is, I want Republican voters to leave the GOP primary feeling like, hey, we reached a conclusion, right? We reached a consensus, and this is why this candidate is our guy or not our guy. Or maybe I disagreed with it, but I understand these are the ideological reasons one triumph over the other. But when this is the state of the Trump-DeSantis discourse, your rally is small. Ron DeSantis is a groomer or something. Then we're not getting anywhere, right? We're not getting closer to the answer of who should the nominee be for our party. And so, I think on both sides, the nonsense has to stop. There were, again, valid criticisms, both. The stupidity has to stop. And again, just one last time for the receipts, there was an actual tornado warning in Des Moines, Iowa. It was real. So you guys all just sound stupid. Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao Show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao Show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah. God bless.